Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning again to those of you that are already sitting here. We've just been in morning prayer together. And hello to everybody who's tuning into this recording at some other time in some other place. Everyone is most welcome. Today we meet on a day when we celebrate Joseph, who was married to Mary and was or became the foster father of Jesus, essentially. So I'd like to begin by just leading us in a breath attunement, and we're going to return to this in a developed and evolving way throughout this meditation. So I invite us to visualize a cross. And this is not a cross in front of us, but a cross within us. And it's as big as us. The horizontal of the cross runs through our heart. And since it is said that the arms and hands are an extension of the heart, you might even imagine that this cross piece of the cross goes right from fingertip left to fingertip right of our hands. And we can make this illuminated cross. And the vertical of the cross is running right from our crown center right down through, through to our base center, and right down to the earth between our feet. And indeed, one might imagine that the top of the vertical of the cross reaching right up beyond our crown into the heavenly realms, and the bottom of the cross reaching right down into the earth. So let's use our breath now to bring this cross to life within us. And we're going to breathe in on the horizontal, on the left of the horizontal, left into the left breast, and then breathe out through the right breast. So this is where we're evolving the horizontal of the cross. Breathing in on the left, breathing out on the right. Conscious that as we become present to our breath, that our breathing becomes deeper and slower. And when we work with the breath, we're working with its subtle nature, its its non-physical nature. It's the nature which underlies the physical. It is the breath that gives life. And as we do this, we may find that our subtle body starts to tingle in the region of the chest now, as the energy is touched by the breath. And now bringing our breath to the vertical, breathe in through the top of the cross, the crown, or just above the crown. And then breathing out right down through the vertical, right down to the base of our body, right down to the earth, into the earth. In at the top, right down on the exhalation through the cross, out at the bottom. Describing with the breath, evolving with the breath, this verticality of the cross. And again, we may experience a tingling sensation, particularly in the crown and down through the centers if we're used to working with those in the base center. So the breath that God breathed into Adam, into the dust. So taking a few breaths now right in the center of the chest where the vertical and the horizontal cross each other. So today we prepare ourselves with now. We're celebrating the person of Joseph the carpenter, and our readings today are Matthew 13, where it says Jesus, coming to his hometown, began teaching the people in the synagogue, and they were amazed. Where did this man get this wisdom and these miraculous powers? They asked. Isn't this the carpenter's son? Isn't his mother's name Mary? And aren't his brothers' names James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas? Aren't all his sisters with us? Where then did this man get all these things? Isn't this the carpenter's son? Where did this man get all these things? And our Hebrew Bible reading, our Old Testament reading, is from Isaiah 11 and begins in this way. A shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse. From his roots a branch will bear fruit. The Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, the Spirit of wisdom and of understanding, the Spirit of counsel and of might, the Spirit of the knowledge and fear of the Lord, and he will delight in the fear of the Lord. Jesse was a part of the paternal inheritance of Jesus. The cellular clay from which Jesus came. So the stump of Jesse giving rise to a branch which bore the extraordinary fruit. And it's well worth reading this chapter 11 of Isaiah because it's a very, very beautiful words which describe this branch and its beautiful wisdom and peacemaking qualities. So we have here this conundrum, which is where does our inheritance come from? Is it from God? Or is it from man? And how do these two inheritances work together? Is our paternity or maternity only spiritual? Or is it also earthly? And I'd like to share some words of Sufi Hazrat Inayat Khan about our earthly inheritance, which I think are very beautiful, and then we'll work with that in meditation. So he says very poetically, when the soul comes into the physical world, it receives an offering from the whole universe. And that offering is the body in which to function. It is not offered to the soul only by the parents, but by the ancestors, by the nation and race into which the soul is born, and by the whole human race. This body is not only an offering of the human race, but is an outcome of something that the whole world has produced for ages, a clay which has been kneaded 1,000 times over, a clay which has been prepared so that in its very development it has become more intelligent, more radiant, and more living. A clay which appeared first in the mineral kingdom, which developed in the vegetable kingdom, which then appeared as the animal, and which was finished in the making of that body which is offered to the new coming human soul. We need not understand by this that every rock turned into a plant, and every plant into an animal, and every animal into a human being. The soul is direct from heaven. It functions in a body, and it is this body through which it experiences life on earth more fully. So our physical earthly paternity, which Joseph in some way represented for Jesus, the carpenter, Jesus, the carpenter's son, produced a clay which had been prepared so that in its very development it has become more intelligent, more radiant, and more living. A body which is offered to the new coming human soul. But the soul is direct from heaven. So I'd like to take us into an experience of this now, and we'll return to our meditation on the cross. And we're going to work with the horizontal. So if you like, we're working with not only our own earthly inheritance, but as we're remembering the earthly inheritance of the incarnate Jesus. So let us return to the horizontal of the cross. And looking to our left, we look into the past. Looking to our right, the right arm of the cross, we look into the future. And we're aware of the clay of our physical substance being kneaded throughout ages and throughout forms. So if we start now, right to the left of the cross, and at the same time we're celebrating the making of the body of Jesus, we might look to the beginning of life on earth, and we might feel that right in the fingertips of our left hand, the emergence of life in the oceans, tiny cells, not yet animal or mineral or vegetable. Gradually evolving, leaving the water, moving slowly from the fingertips into the hand. See these elements of our being, our earth, water, fire, air, evolving through our ancestors, the non-human at this point, of fish and amphibians and insects and arthropods and reptiles as we move up our left arm in this horizontal of the cross toward the center. The clay kneaded and changed and transformed, all the time becoming more radiant and more living, anticipating the evolution of the human body, suitable for the human soul, evolving through birds, mammals, primates. Feel our history, your history, your long experience of being incarnate and that of Jesus. Becoming human being, evolving through your humanity, moving slowly toward the center. As these cells, as this clay of yourself have evolved, becoming more and more ready to incarnate the soul that you are, and in Jesus' case that he was, that he is a vessel, a clay vessel, a fit for a king, a queen, Christ. And conscious, if we move our head and our consciousness to the right, moving off into the future, that this clay of our body, as it was for Jesus, will return to its elements, to the evolution that God has designed for it in some way. Carpenter's son. And let us become aware of the vertical of the cross. And let us in our imagination, our experience, take our consciousness right up beyond the top of the cross of our being. Into the oneness, to the source of all, into the beginningness. finding that from that oneness, a particularity emerges, a ray of light, tracing the verticality of the cross through the crown of our heads, spirit, individual spirit, to our own soul, still near the top of the cross. A light, the light of the single eye, the third eye, and descending further into the heart, finding our incarnation, moving further down, earthing that like a lightning rod, earthing the light, vertical, traveling right down through the base of the body into the earth. Becoming mind, becoming body. So let us work with the image of the cross now, with the horizontal, or earthly inheritance, or earthly paternity, let us say today. And with the verticality of the cross, our heaven spiritual inheritance. Let us say today our spiritual paternity. So making the sign of the cross now, we can do this with our hand or just with our consciousness. So touching with the breath, with the consciousness, the left breast, and all that it means as we've been through it, moving to the right breast, touching the forehead and down through the belly. So we're breathing in through the left breast, out through the right, in through the crown and out, right down through the body, through the base. So let's do this now, incorporating the whole of ourselves, incarnate, eternal. And let us take this into silence now. One can just retain a focus on the middle of a hum if you wish. Oh, we pray, just as Joseph was able to hear the voice of the divine, the voice of wisdom, and as was Mary, may we in our incarnation hear the voice of wisdom as it bisects deeply into our very earthly being.